Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 1 and we will present our material. The title is Comprehension and Production of Language. Okay. The first speaker is Norikma Ismail. Time is yours.
I will explain material of comprehension and production of language. Okay, for the first, definition of language comprehension. Language comprehension is apparently something which is done unconsciously by most humans. It happens when a listener builds a mental representation of information confined within the language that the speaker is using. According to Darjo Wijoyo 2005, language comprehension is how we understand the meaning of words, phrases, clauses, sentences, or discourse we listen. Thus, it can be said that language comprehension, or we can say that receptive process occurs inside the listener who receive meaningful language cues through listening instruments. And then dealing with language comprehension. It cannot be separated from its specific components that can be summarized as follows. Quentinio et al. 1998. First, speech processing. In speech processing, the segmentation and classification of incoming sensory input. The second, lexical processing. In this process, the recognition of individual words and the access to the different types of information associated with them. The third, sentential processing. In this process, the extraction and combination of syntactic information of individual words and their order to construct to synthetic representation and knowledge to arrive at a sentence interpretation. And four, discourse processing. In this process, the integration of the interpretation of successive sentence to create a discourse of representation. Okay, I think that's all.
Okay. Next, I will explain. My name is Nurul Faida. Vocabulary is considered by many aspects to be single most important aspect of language comprehension concern. Isya, tunggu dulu. Okay. Next, as Canadian Eastern, the study of vocabulary is at the heart of language teaching in terms of organization of syllabus, the evaluation of learner performance and provisions of learning source. Next, how language is processed. This question may concern with linguistic performance, which present the use of knowledge of language. It is applied to process comprehension and production. Inda and Abdurrahman 2008 explained that language processing is a description of instrument, material, and procedure in human mentality in order to produce the understanding language. Next, a definition of language production. Language production is the production of spoken or written language in which we describe all of the stage between having a concept and translating that concept into linguistic form. Someone can produce the language when they have an idea. She or he puts into words and untracks it. Then someone else hears the sound, recognizing the word, and understand the speaker's intent. Okay, I think that's all from me. Next speaker is Anissa Rexiani. Time is yours.
Okay, next is the event cycle in the creation of language consistent of the form of language. First, message. Second, encode message into linguistic form. Next, encode linguistic form into speech. Next, sound goes from speaker's mouth to hearer or auditory system. 5. Speech is decoded into linguistic form. And the last is linguistic form is decoded into meaning. Okay, next, tools of producing language. The study of how human beings produce language is called articulatory phonetics. Talk about language production. Certainly, we know that we speak in language by producing the sound which have meaning. The tools of produce sound are called speech organ. There are three kinds of speech organs, such as first, initiator, second, phonetizer, and third, articulator. Next, language producing. The main thing to produce the speech sound is oxygen. It's impossible if we don't have oxygen, we will not breathe, and it means we are dead. As a student who get a language as the main study object, we have to know that how the language is produced. Generally, producing language is concerned with the transformation of aerodynamic energy into acoustic energy. Aerodynamic energy refers to the airflow through the vocal tract. In vocal tract, there's kinetic form. It's produce air pressure that can be represented as sound waves. The way of producing language will explain more as follows. First, the brain processes the message, and the second is the speech organ produce the sound. Okay, I think enough. Next.
Okay, the next speaker is Nur Syahrini Alamsyah. Time is yours.
Okay, the next material is production and comprehension process. Production process must, of course, be used when individuals produce language, and comprehension process must be used when they comprehend language. However, a production process must also be used during, for example, silent naming. When no utterance is silent naming, therefore involve some production process. Digitals associate with aspect of formulation such as name retrieval, but not other. Digitals associate with articulation, see level 9089. The rest
Okay,
of
I
this
think enough.
target are The rest of this target article developed an account of language processing in which process of production and comprehension are integrated. We assume that intensive of both production and comprehension involve extensive use of prediction. Determining what you yourself of your interlocutor is likely to say next. Predicting your own utterance involve comprehension process as well as production process, and predicting others and utterance involve prediction process as well as comprehension process.
Okay, I think that's all from us. And thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.